The lights were bright and the cameras were rolling. Millions of fans were watching from all around the world. It was a Weverse Live, just like the old times. All 7 members sitting together, laughing, teasing each other, and celebrating their bond. "Say hi, Hyung," Jungkook said, poking Jin's shoulder. And young army, Jin waved dramatically. "The oldest and handsomest is here." Everyone laughed. Taehyung leaned closer to the camera. "Did you miss us?" The comments were flooding in. "Yes, OT7 forever. Jimin looks so soft today." At first, everything felt perfect, but Jimin sat quietly between Yoongi and Namjoon. His smile was soft but unsure. He laughed when the others joked, but his hands trembled slightly in his lap. Nobody noticed at first. "Let's play a game," Hoseok said. "Loser does 𝐴𝐤." "No," Namjoon said, shaking his head. "Not me again." Everyone burst out laughing. But Jimin didn't laugh this time. His breathing was becoming uneven, his heart racing. The lights felt too bright, the voices felt too loud. And the millions of eyes behind the camera, they felt like pressure in his chest. "Jimin," Yoongi whispered, noticing his stillness. "Are you okay?" Jimin nodded quickly, forcing a smile. "I'm fine," he lied, but his voice was shaky. Yumi's eyes narrowed slightly. He knew Jimin too well. That wasn't a fine. "Let's read comments," Jungkook said, picking up his phone. "Ooh," one says, "Jimin, your voice heals me." Yoongi turned to Jimin again. "You wanna read some too?" Jimin opened his mouth to reply, but no words came out. He was starting to panic. The walls were closing in. His hands were shaking harder now, and he could feel sweat forming on his back. His vision blurred for a second. I need," Jimin mumbled, barely audible. "Jimin," Namjoon said, concerned. "What's wrong?" Jimin stood up suddenly, knocking over his water bottle. The camera shook, slightly, catching the movement. "I'm sorry," he whispered, and rushed off screen. The members froze. Hyung, Jungkook stood up. Yoongi was already on his feet. "Stay here," Yoongi said quickly. "I'll go." He ran backstage, ignoring the confused murmurs from staff behind the curtain. Down a small hallway, he found Jimin sitting on the floor, knees to his chest, struggling to breathe. "Jimin," Yoongi said softly, crouching down. Hey, look at me." Jimin shook his head, tears rolling down his cheeks. "I can't breathe, Hyung. I can't. I'm sorry. I ruined it." No, Yoongi said, his voice gentle. "You didn't ruin anything. You're okay. Just breathe with me." Yoongi sat beside him and took a deep breath, loud and slow. "In," he said, inhaling, "now out." Jimin tried to follow. His chest was tight, but Yoongi's calm voice guided him. "In, out." Yoongi took Jimin's trembling hands in his own and squeezed them gently. "You're not alone, okay? I'm here. We're here." Jimin looked at him with wet eyes. But everyone was watching. I feel ashamed." Yoongi shook his head. "Never be ashamed for feeling overwhelmed. You're human, Jimin. We all are." Behind them, soft footsteps echoed. The others had followed, worried. "Hyung," Jungkook whispered. "Is he okay?" "He will be," Yoongi replied, not letting go of Jimin's hand. Taehyung came closer and knelt in front of Jimin. "Can I hug you?" Jimin nodded. Taehyung gently wrapped his arms around him. And Jimin buried his face in Tae's shoulder, letting the tears fall. "I'm sorry," he cried. No sorries, 𝐏𝐚𝐳𝐤𝐜 said, kneeling too. You're our Jimin. We love you. Namjoon placed a hand on Jimin's head. Let's take a break. Forget the live. You come first. I ruined it, Jimin whispered. You saved it, Jin said softly, by being real. They sat together in silence for a few minutes. The OT7 huddled in a quiet corner. Away from the cameras, away from the noise, just brothers being there for each other. After a while, Jimin's breathing slowed. His heartbeat calmed. Feeling better, Yoongi asked. Jimin nodded, wiping his eyes a little. Want to go back on live? Jungkook asked. Or we can cancel it, Jimin thought for a moment. Can you come with me? Always, Yoongi said, standing and helping him up. When they returned to the live, the chat was full of worried armies. Is Jimin okay? We love you, Jimin. Take your time. Jimin sat down between Yoongi and Taehyung this time. Hey, he said, softly into the mic. Everyone turned to him. I'm sorry I left for a while, Jimin said. I had a little panic, but I'm okay now. Yoongi placed a hand on his back. You don't have to explain, Namjoon said gently. But if you want to share, we're here. Jimin took a breath. Sometimes, even when we're surrounded by love, our mind can trick us. It tells us we're not enough, that we're being watched too closely, judged too harshly, and it gets heavy. The members listened silently, respectfully. But Jimin continued, I'm lucky because I have 6 brothers who remind me that I'm not alone, that it's okay to feel, that I can fall apart and still be loved. Tears formed in Taehyung's eyes. Jungkook held his hand. And I have army, Jimin smiled softly at the camera, who love me not just when I perform perfectly, but even when I'm just me. The comments were flying. Thank you, Hyung. They ended the live with warm smiles and soft songs. Jimin even sang a little. His voice shaky at first but growing steadier as the others joined in. By the end, everyone was smiling. That night, back at the dorm, the members sat on the rooftop, eating chicken and watching the stars. You were really brave today, Jin said, handing Jimin a soda. I was really scared, Jimin replied. Bravery isn't the absence of fear, Namjoon said. It's doing the right thing even when you're scared. Yoongi nudged Jimin with his elbow. Next time, if you feel it coming, don't keep it in. Just whisper my name. I'll be there before you finish the word. Jimin smiled, eyes soft. Yoongi, he said playfully. Yoongi laughed. See, I'm here. The others giggled. Jimin looked around at his family, not just teammates, but brothers of the soul. He felt warm, safe, and loved. Thank you, he said, his voice full of emotion. For what? 𝐏𝐚𝐳𝐤𝐜 asked. For not letting me fight alone. Taehyung wrapped his arms around him. Always OT7, remember, always, they all said in unison. A week later, a clip from the live went viral. The moment Jimin returned, the words he spoke, the way Yoongi comforted him, and how the members surrounded him with love, it touched hearts all over the world. Fans trended, hashtag you are not alone, hashtag we love you Jimin, hashtag OT7 family. Thousands of people shared their own stories of anxiety and how BTS helped them through it. And Jimin, once scared, now stood stronger. One last live a month later, Army, Jimin said, looking into the camera, smiling brightly. Thank you for loving me even when I couldn't love myself. I hope I can do the same for you someday. Behind the camera, Yoongi smiled proudly. You already are, he whispered. And with that, the screen faded to black, but the warmth remained. The end.